This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
Well, this is Saturday, June the 9th, and you have entered Overtime, where I just got here, and this is crazy, but these are my highlights, so watch me maybe. We will be here with you for the next 4 weeks, counting down to our coverage of the Do or Die Bowl on June 29th before we break for our annual 6-week hiatus. Until then, we plan on drinking in all the June fun, whether it's high school football preseason coverage, which we have for you tonight in abundance, summer baseball, or whatever story ideas you might want to throw us. Do not hesitate to contact us. Tonight, however, we are loaded for bear with one of the Tri-State's true rights of summer. The McDonald's Quincy Herald-Wig Basketball All-Star Classic. Complete coverage of all of that in just a few minutes. But right now, we have news of Luke Guthrie making a move on moving day at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. And Luke was brilliant, one of the low scores of the day. He finished the day at 3 under. He started the day at even par. That tells you just how good Luke was on this day. Fantastic stuff from him as he gets himself right into the thick of the hunt. Now, the interesting thing about the St. Jude Classic coming up tomorrow is we will have some weather issues, so we're starting early tomorrow. In fact, Luke is scheduled to tee off about 8:15 tomorrow. They are playing as threesomes tomorrow. Luke is going to tee off at that time at about 8:15, and he's going to be playing with both Ryan Palmer and Dustin Morris, whose work I loved in Saved by the Bell. Again, CBS should have highlights at some point tomorrow during the course of the day, but with the weather delay, everything expected to wrap up at 2:30. Not quite sure what the programming is, but if Luke gets himself into the hunt and it's on KHQA, you will see it right here, and we will hope for the best in that endeavor. Let's do the All-Star Herald-Wig Classic today. Illinois versus Missouri, and this should be an awful lot of fun in this ball game. I tell you what, two teams going at each other, this game really taken seriously. Forget all that exhibition talk. This, my friends, is all about the win. And Aaron Edwards told us earlier this week he was going to take it to Missouri, and he certainly did right there, using his speed to free himself for a three. But look at Blaine White back the other direction, trying to quell that fast Illinois start in this ball game. Then the big fella, the reigning KHQA Player of the Year, Dalton Hoover, out of Pittsfield. Big take for him. Big go. More from Illinois, who jumped out to a huge lead early, led by as many as 9 points at one point, as you see Alex Walter out of Camp Point Central with a beautiful finish. Mike Shivers, though, have a night. He would do so for Missouri, calmly bringing his team back in the first half, and then later, more from the big fella. Bubba Williams outside, knocks down the jumper right there. More to come in this ball game, as back and forth we would go in this one. And from the outside, that, my friends, is Logan Hicks lighting up again, bringing his, oh no, that's Timmy Fisher from the outside, knocking one down, bringing his team back. Matt Pugh's team fighting its way back into this ball game and fighting hard in this one. More to come right there. Again, Big Bubba, Jay Jones getting the work done in this game. The Hannibal guys coming back and erasing all of that deficit. In fact, they would go behind Mr. Blaine White on a huge run to start the second half and get back in this ball game. D'Angelo Dean, though, answers all night long as he comes up with a huge bucket right there. Had himself a big night on the night with 29 points and 12 rebounds. How about Missouri looking for more? No, Illinois trying to get some things done right there. As it's Mr. Edwards again, the sneaky move, levitating and finding his way to the bucket. More from Edwards. This time the setup for big D'Angelo Dean with the throwdown, trying to end this thing and end it on the right foot. As down the stretch in this ball game, Illinois would close out and do what they do. Dalton Hoover ahead. Matthew Dusterhouse, who played assist man all night long, to D'Angelo. Are you kidding me? MVP, MVP, MVP. And it was all about Illinois getting the victory. Close game through much of it, but Illinois wins and holds serve. A game and a series that they have owned. Your MVPs, Michael Shivers from Missouri, as you saw right there, collecting his trophy, and D'Angelo Dean, who's, my goodness, just an unbelievable night with those 29 points and those 12 rebounds. Shivers, none too shabby in his own right on the night as well, throwing in 24. But bragging rights go to Illinois on the boys' side. How would things shake down for the ladies tonight? Mike Johnson of Marion County leading Missouri against Brad Begeman from Unity and the Illinois girls. Slow start for both teams, really, but for Missouri especially, as Lauren Gronwald here takes advantage of one of many turnovers in this game. She gets the larceny and the layup at the other end. More from Illinois this time. It is the West Hancock product. J.C. Hartwig for 3. Illinois building an early lead. However, it would be Missouri weathering the storm. Kathleen Hinkle gets her team going just a little bit with the jumper there. Then Megan Brennan, the future optometrist. See her for all your eye needs in the very near future. Nice take for her with the good post move. Back comes Illinois in this one. It's the pride of Central Southeastern. Olivia Nelson with the drive, and oh, the smooth kiss off the window there. Jessica Red trying to make the answer for Missouri at the other end. She was battling the future Truman State product right there with the turnaround jumper. Last play of the first half in this one, it's RLP. Randy Lee Plunkett hitting a tough shot. Missouri would lead at the half. In fact, Missouri preserving a lead for much of that first half. Second half, Tori Kuhn about to go to work. What a week this young lady has had. KHQA Scholar Athlete of the Year to start the week, and then knocking down a three-pointer. Yeah, we knew Tori had that, and Lindenwood's going to like that an awful lot next year as well. More of RLP. Randy Lee Plunkett here with a steal. 2 at the other end for her. And then it's Paige O'Brien stepping up to keep Missouri on top in this game, trying to thwart every Illinois comeback. Paige O'Brien, or we'll call her POB in this particular case, knocking things down from the top of the key. Illinois, though, fighting back hard in the last 5 minutes. Foley to Tori Kuhn to Marley Joe Bradshaw. There's a lot of smarts in that group, not to mention a lot of good basketball. J.C. Hartwig stepping inside, knocking down the 2, and it is Caitlin Jacoby trying to come up strong as well for the deuce. She would do exactly that. She's a gamer. More Hartwig right here. The 3 would put Illinois on top by 1 late in this game. Late 3 by Katie Schumann, not nearly enough in this one, as it would be Illinois pulling off the rare sweep this year. 69-60 is your final, and your MVPs, I mentioned it earlier, huge week for Tori Kuhn. Huge game for her as well, not only with the points, not only with the rebounds, but she finished the day with 6 blocks, just absolutely eating everybody's lunch on the day. Your MVP, or most outstanding player, I should say, for the good folks of Missouri was Miss Randy Lee Plunkett, who ends her high school career on an up note, but again, she is headed off next year to Hannibal LaGrange. A couple of great ambassadors, a couple of great students for their respective schools, and going forward to their new colleges. We wish both those ladies the very best because they are class acts each. What a great night. Congratulations to our friends at McDonald's and their Harold Wig, Don O'Brien, for all of his hard work putting this together. It was a great night, fun night of basketball, and I know a fun night had by all. Good stuff, guys. Makes summer fun when we get a chance to cover this kind of event. Meanwhile, we've got some Prospect League baseball to pass along. Good night for the Hannibal Cavemen, who go on the road and beat Du Bois County, the Bombers, 9-6 tonight. Tyler Philibin, the man who was robbed with that stolen base you saw right here last night, ends up exacting a little more revenge. This time on Du Bois County, he goes 3 for 5 at the plate with a triple and a couple of RBIs to lead his team to victory. How about the Quincy Gems tonight at home, hosting the Terre Haute Rex? Our man Caleb Howell out of Jacksonville, been hitting very well. Chance to see him tonight. Early on, though, all Rex in this one as Tommy struck that man out right there. And then it's a home run right here by Brett Tesher, who gives the Rex a 2-0 lead at that point. And you can say the Rex in effect at this point, although I don't want to be sued by anybody at this point. At that point, we'll leave that alone. Meanwhile, Sean Coonrod cruising on the hill, though, after giving up the early ugliness. He settles in, the Carrollton product, with the strikeout right there. He was good, and then things finally start to come together in the 6th inning, still down 2-0. Caleb Howell gets aboard with a ball that was badly butchered at shortstop. Great little sacrifice bunt right here by Gregory Allen to move Mr. Howell up. The Crimson product now standing at second base for Nick Tyndall, who ends up spurring a 9 unanswered run bludgeoning right there by the Gems as they come up with 9 unanswered and beat the Rex tonight. Final count in this one sees the Gems victorious as they continue to roll along. 9-2 was your win for the Quincy Gems. So we have plenty more when we come back. You heard me mention high school football. We are going to rip the lid off things coming up in just a minute and kind of get your high school football vibe going. That in 2 minutes, my friends.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody, where it's time now for our latest June Con Communications Connection nominee, the best sports coupling of our month. Now, our job is to submit 4 different highlight options for your perusal and enjoyment. Your job, I should say, wow, been a long day. Your job at the end of every month is to go to connecttristates.com and simply vote for your favorite. And as an added incentive to ensure the democratic process, if you vote, you become eligible to win a great prize package from Con. This week's nominee comes to us from Mizzou camp, where the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders needed to get clever to take on Rockbridge and a defensive line that had both a 300 and 400 pounder. Enter Nick Wyman and Jordan Chappell. First play called on the day from Anthony Bruns, who was subbing in as a coach because the IHSA doesn't allow real coaches there. The ex-player calls for the halfback option pass, and it is a thing of beauty as Nick Wyman launches the perfect spiral. Look at that. Like a darn quarterback, that kid. Hook it up with Jordan Chappell, wearing the wrong number. We misidentified him yesterday, but in our defense, he's supposed to be wearing 11, was wearing 28 in the practice jersey. Still a pretty catch from Jordan Chappell, and that is pretty stuff. So that is nominee number 2. Going to be hard-pressed, though, to beat Megan Boone's walk-off game-winning home run, which occurred just last week and helped the Payson Seymour Lady Indians into their first-ever softball state championship. But we've got 2 great nominees on the board, and we'll keep you apprised as things continue to develop. This is our last month of the Con Communication Connection until football season starts, and then every week should be an absolute dandy fun. Looking forward to August, even as we speak. And now that Pandora's box that is high school football is flung wide open, let's chat, shall we? Upon cursory analysis, I have designated my top 5 teams for 2012 in no particular order. We'll do that later after camp, but I have Keokuk, Concord, Triopia, South Shelby, Centralia, and Clark County all in that mix, with Hannibal, Jacksonville, and Macomb just a shade behind. And again, all of that can play out and change. But today, my first chance to check out a pair of those Northeast Missouri teams at the new-look Culver-Stockton football camp, which was held at E.A. Porter Stadium on the campus of Hannibal High School. We'll start you off in this one with Palmyra taking on Clark County, and look at Cameron Nutt hooking up right here to Bobby Grunlow. And when Grunlow is going good, he is as good as it gets at the tight end position. Great 35-yard touchdown reception for him. It was ruled dead, though, at the 20-yard line. So you know what? Palmyra had to go back to work. Brock Butler now in at quarterback, fumbles the ball but scrambles away and finds, who else? That fella, Bobby Grunlow for the touchdown. Pretty stuff right there from a much improved Palmyra team. Kevin Miles' crew going to look much better. The Indians, however, would answer in this game. This is Rye Hunziker taking the swing pass, and he's just going to swing his way into the end zone from 30 yards away for the quick score to answer. The rest of it, for the rest of this particular part of the scrimmage, all about the defense. Maybe the most impressive play of all turned in on the last play from scrimmage. Palmyra's Austin Hightower. Look at the takedown right there as he gets Javen Ray, the quarterback from Clark County, and throws him down for the quick sack. Meanwhile, Clark County moved over just a minute later, and they would be playing Hannibal, and this time Austin Egley in at quarterback, and nobody I can remember at the quarterback position runs any better than this kid on the keeper. He's just darn fast. 35-yard touchdown right off the bat in this game. Meanwhile, the other way, here comes Hannibal. Dalton Powell, your returning savvy signal caller. Great call in the midline option there. Great pass right here to Caleb Beanick. You will notice he's wearing the flak jacket there. He took a really nasty hit to the ribs today. Ends up scoring the touchdown right there. How about some Bowling Green versus Monroe City? Malik McPike, remember this name. He's going to be a good one. Although Bowling Green's got a couple of guys at the tailback position, including at the younger level. Really impressed with today. The spread offense is gone. Looks like Jeff Geschwender's going to run traditional I-back, and it may work for him. He's got a big offensive line, and he's got some horses behind it who can absolutely run. Monroe City didn't have a lot of their starters today. Really impressed, though, with the effort of some of these young guys Tony DeGrave has. Guys you haven't heard of yet, guys I haven't heard of yet, but who looked awfully darn frisky out there. So going to be a good season. We'll have more for you coming up in a matter of days, in fact. Meanwhile, let's cross the river. They refer to it as the Triple Option Summit, but it is also one heck of a testament to the coaching legacy of one Rick Johns. For the last couple of summers, a host of high school football coaches who either played for or got their starts as assistants on the former Calhoun boss's staff bring their respective teams together to collectively play and collectively school their players on the finer points of the offensive scheme that they've all adopted from Coach Johns, albeit the triple option. That list of participants, I woke up too early, includes North Mac, Alton Marquette, Fairbury Central, Calhoun, and the Aaron Elmore-directed Beardstown Tigers, of course, who hosted this year's summit. We take you there to beautiful Beardstown today, where you are looking at Mr. Elmore coaching his team up for 7-on-7. But first, the biggest returning weapon in the fold for Beardstown, maybe this fella, 280-pound guard Rolando Luna, who's already getting looks from Western Illinois, and a cursory couple of glances from Northern Illinois as well. Quarterback battle raging for Beardstown. John Kramer, the lefty, looks good right here, hooking up with my man Delaney Ortiz for the nice 10-yard pickup on the out. Great catch by Ortiz. Meanwhile, Gus Vermillion, also battling hard, the sophomore. Look at this, dropping the ball perfectly to Greg Carnes for the touchdown pass. That coming against a really good Alton Marquette team who plays Quincy Notre Dame later this year. More from Kramer this time, the lefty going up top. And I think this is Cole Huey at the other end of this catch, but couldn't see his tape on his helmet, so never did see. More from Kramer here, the lefty going over the top and hooking up with Alex Miles as well for the nice pickup. Beardstown looks like they're going to be pretty darn salty when this is all said and done as well. And speaking of quarterbacks, we have been conducting a bit of a quarterback poll on our Facebook page for the last couple of days, asking you who you think is going to be the top signal caller of all the returning veterans coming back for the fall. And among our votes, Brown County's Tim Woodward, who you may remember got injured in that game with Concord Triopia in the playoffs. He was your top pick ahead of Keokuk's Gabe Vandenberg, Quincy High's Connor Kelly, and South Shelby's David Haithman. Now, looking at it from my vantage point, I'm probably going to have Gabe Vandenberg, and probably with really good reason, your number one coming back. Also, a man you do not see on that list, Tanner Huddleston out of Concord Triopia, I like equally well. I think he and Haithman and Gregory Pitzer, who's also not really a passing quarterback per se, but more of a Tommy Frazier type option threat, a guy who belongs in that top 5 conversation as well. So I think it's a pretty deep year for quarterbacks. I think you can throw some other guys in there like Blake Rogers, obviously, from Monroe City. I think we'll see Dalton Powell in that mix, and you've got some guys who will clearly develop over the course of the next couple of weeks as we go into the season. I think the quarterback pool this year is good, not great, but it has the potential to be really top end when it's all said and done.